Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Golden Girl. Today's episode, I want to share a life update with you. I have decided to stop taking my Vyvanse after almost 15 years of taking stimulants every day. So, if you're not familiar with Vyvanse, Vyvanse is a stimulant medication. It's really similar to Adderall and it's prescribed for ADHD. It's also prescribed off label for binge eating disorder. And I've talked about this on previous episodes. I have previously struggled with binge eating disorder. So, in choosing to go off of my Vyvanse, it is a little bit scary because I know that my binge eating could come back. You also might notice that I have wrist braces on for this episode if you're watching the video version. And that is because I've been having some pretty debilitating elbow pain that was preventing me from using a computer for the last couple of months. And that was very disabling in itself. So I've had a lot going on. And it has affected the speed at which I am able to record and edit this podcast, which was really disappointing for a while because the podcast has brought me so much purpose and it's been so exciting and fun. It's been a really beautiful creative process for me. And yet, my body was seemingly telling me that it wasn't a good time for me to pour all of my energy into that. So, I'll talk about why I decided to stop taking the Vyvanse. But I also just want to say before I dive into that, that me not taking the Vyvanse is going to completely affect my brain and the way that I process information and the way that I communicate. And given that I have a podcast, that's going to affect the way that I interview people and the way that I keep up with information that I'm taking in during each episode. And it'll change the nature of everything. So over time, we'll see how it affects me. But I feel really inspired to embrace my natural brain in all of its glory for at least the foreseeable future. All right, let's talk about why I was on Vyvanse in the first place. So, when I was 18 years old in college, I had some pretty intense symptoms of ADHD. I was really spacey, really messy, not motivated. I was just eating constantly and I was not really retaining information. I would be spacing out all the time. I felt like I was living in La La Land and I was just like not present on earth in reality. And the first thing that I did was I went on Adderall at first. And I was on Adderall for about 4 years during college. And that really helped me retain information. I felt like for the first time in a long time, I had a memory again. And it was really helpful. But I didn't have these symptoms of ADHD my whole life. They started out around the time when I was 14. Now I'm 32 and I've been on some form of stimulant since I was 18 years old. And most recently, the last 10 years, I was on the highest dose of Vyvanse that they make. Like the highest dose of Vyvanse available is what I was taking every single day up until 5 days ago. So a lot of my livelihood felt like it relied on this medication. And I hated the fact that I relied on the medication. But I knew when I wasn't on it, I was going to be binge eating. I would not remember my life. I would describe it as somebody who had taken a really intense edible because when I wasn't medicated, I was just a giggly mess. Like I was just laughing at everything and I was completely distracted and I wouldn't take anything seriously and I wouldn't really remember things very well. And I just couldn't stop eating and I was always so tired. Before Vyvanse and Adderall, I was sleeping like 15 hours a day every day. And looking back now, it seems really obvious that that was information that maybe didn't trace back to ADHD. And so now I'll go into why I decided to stop taking the Vyvanse. So I've been spending some time at this healing center recently. That's actually where I'm filming this right now. I have been at this healing center doing all sorts of different types of healing treatments. One of the things that I'm doing is this frequency healing. It's really, really cool technology, and it's definitely helping me feel more aligned and It's helping balance out all the frequencies in my body. And then the other aspect of this that I've been doing is kinetic testing. And I was put on this herbal protocol to help balance my thyroid, which was low functioning. I have high homocysteine, low iron, low vitamin D, high inflammation. There were all these different markers that really needed a lot of help. And I also got a lot of blood work done around this time where I started this protocol. And the blood work showed all of that same data. The blood work also showed that my thyroid was not functioning. I have almost no detectable DHEA. I have no progesterone. I have very low estrogen. All of these markers are just data points that show that my body is really struggling. And the most important part about this is that my thyroid is not functioning well, which means that all of my bodily processes are probably not functioning very well. The thyroid has been explained to me as like the battery of the body, like it's the body's battery pack. So if your thyroid is not working well, then you're going to be on low battery. And I actually have my blood work from the past 10 years and I've tracked it. I like uncovered my blood work from 10 years ago, and it also showed that my thyroid was really, really low functioning. So I was thinking, like, oh my God, what if this whole time I didn't even have ADHD? What if this whole time I just had low thyroid and they put me on ADHD meds? And so I relied so heavily on those medications to get me out of bed every day and to just like allow me to retain information and function because I didn't have thyroid function. What if this has been the wrong diagnosis this whole time? So the past 15 years of my life, I've been on ADHD medication. And really, it's just that my thyroid hasn't been functioning optimally. So, something that I'm exploring is getting my thyroid to be functioning well. I'm taking lots of different herbs. And what happened was a few weeks into this protocol, I started to feel really anxious and I wasn't feeling well. I was feeling really burnt out, really anxious, and just overall not good. And so I came into this healing center and I talked to the person who does the kinetic testing. And he was like, yeah, you're upregulating all of these other processes in your body, which is a good thing. And the herbs are telling your cells that it is safe to let go of toxins and safe to start working the right way. But then you're also taking Vyvanse, which is kind of telling everything the opposite. So I'm taking all these herbs that are signaling safety. And then I'm taking Vyvanse, which is signaling that there's a threat. And those are two really contradictory messages that I'm sending my body every day. And so the guys here who do all the healings basically sat me down and had an intervention with me and really strongly urged me to consider stopping my Vyvanse. And because I'm me, I did not want to taper off of it. I decided to just stop taking it cold turkey. And that's a really aggressive decision. Pretty much everyone recommends not stopping cold turkey, but for some reason, I just felt like there was healing opportunity in the withdrawal period. So that's what I decided to do. I left here on a Thursday afternoon, and I remember telling them I'll stop taking my medication on Monday. And then Friday morning, I woke up and I just didn't take it. So I somehow felt like it was the right thing to do. And I was really prepared for the worst to happen, but I ended up coming here that very next day and feeling really amazing. And we filmed an entire podcast episode that day. It's actually Jan who interviews me. So Jan is one of the healers here and he does an interview of me. So I can post that to my podcast if you guys are interested in that. And it was filmed on day one of me not taking my Vyvanse. Today's day 5. Today's also the first day of my period. My last menstrual cycle was 44 days long. So I'm hoping that the thyroid herbs and all these other herbs are going to help regulate my cycle so that I don't have as long cycles. And either way, not taking my Vyvanse is a really big deal to me. This is something I never thought I would do, but it really has been one of the last remaining pieces that I've yet to let go of. Throughout my healing journey thus far, I have let go of my house. I have let go of all my stuff. I have let go of my birth control. I've let go of my identity in so many ways. I've let go of knitting because of the elbows. I've let go of furniture making. I have let go of my corporate career. And now I am letting go of really the brain that I've had for the last 15 years. And I'm okay with it. I was on the first day feeling really afraid. But now that I think about it, I'm not afraid anymore. I know that I can do anything and I trust myself enough to know that I'm going to be okay. And I feel like this was the best decision I could have ever made. I don't know if I'll go back on it one day. Maybe the circumstances in my life will change and something will lead me to want to be taking this medication again. But the difference will be that I will be choosing it because I'll want to take it versus feeling like I have to take it to survive. Because now I know that I will survive with or without it. And it feels really good to not be reliant on a medication. So I'm very much still going through the withdrawal period. I've been on the highest dose of this medication for basically 10 years, and 4 years prior to that, a different one. So my body definitely is confused, but I also feel so much better. I can tell that my body's finally getting into the parasympathetic, which is like the rest and digest. So this is all really exciting. It's really positive. I'm a lot more silly. I laugh and I have laugh attacks and I sleep a lot. I'm going to be taking a lot more naps. And I can't imagine doing this while having a corporate job. But I also know that now is the best time for me to get more in touch with myself and my body and merge my heart and my mind and my body all together into one again because it's been so separate. My brain has been running the show for so long because when you give your brain Vyvanse, it's telling your brain to be on all the time. And I'm finally allowing my brain to take a little bit of a break. And I trust that everything will work out exactly how it's supposed to. So far, I have not really had a lot of binge eating urges. I've definitely been eating a lot more than usual. And I have no problem, eating more right now, but I definitely don't want to overstuff myself regularly to the point where it's harmful for my functioning. So TBD on how that goes. I'll keep everybody posted. So that's the update on the Vyvanse. I am really excited for this next chapter and I'll keep checking in with how it goes. If you have any questions, let me know. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Share this with someone that you know who might benefit from hearing it. I would love to have this podcast help as many people as possible. So your engagement on all of the posts and episodes is really helpful in getting the algorithm to push it out to other people who need to hear what I have to say. So thank you for your support. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you next time.